Hey, Randy Hunter here. And before we get started, before I show you how to use the diminished scale on Summertime, I just wanted to take a moment and invite you to visit my websites, beginningsax.com and randyhunterjazz.vhx.tv. I've got tons of jazz improvisation lessons at beginningsax.com. You can purchase the lessons at the TV site, randyhunterjazz.vhx.tv. You can subscribe and have full access to all of my lessons. Now, that would include the lesson that I'm about to give you for free here on Summertime and the diminished scale at beginningsax.com. It's in the sound and style category, and it's a bonus lesson that comes when you purchase that category. So it's a free lesson on that site, and of course, once you subscribe to randyhunterjazz.vhx.tv, you have access to all of my lessons, beginning sax, jazz improvisation, everything. Okay, so I hope to hear from you, and I hope you'll check out my sites and potentially subscribe or just purchase some of my lessons. I know a lot of you are interested in the diminished scale. You know, the theory behind it, how to use it, when to use it, well, just all sorts of stuff about the diminished scale. And I promise I'm going to put together more lessons on the diminished scale. But I really thought I would share this little execution element of the diminished scale with you. I was working with a student yesterday in a lesson, and we were working on Summertime. In fact, he's been transcribing Stanley Turrentine's solo on Summertime, and you may know that I've done a lesson in the Sound and Style series called The Stylings of Stanley Turrentine's Summertime. I believe that's the name of it. But the thing about Stanley Turrentine is on this in Summertime, on the dominant chords, on the 5 chord. Now Stanley Turrentine's doing Summertime in E minor, and the dominant chord is the 5 chord is the B7 sharp 9 or just flat 9, right there. That's your dominant chord. That's your 5 chord. And we hear Stanley Turrentine in that solo on Summertime using the diminished scale quite frequently on that chord. So with my student Dan, we devised a little practice routine where he was learning Summertime in all 12 keys and playing a diminished scale passage on that particular chord. So that really gives you a moment where you can execute, or a way that you can execute, even a way that you can use the diminished scale. Because I think, a lot of times we learn these patterns, we learn these exercises, and that's really the first step towards learning and understanding a concept. So our diminished scale, our B7 flat 9 scale, the diminished scale, the B7 diminished scale, and of course I've got your alto sax and concert pitch transpositions. And I've just got it written out 1 octave because that's the octave we'll use on it. And we're going to put the diminished scale on that 5 chord. So now our chord progression is E minor for 4 bars, then the 4 chord, the A minor chord for 2 bars. So when it hits that A minor chord, there we land on the 2 chord, the half diminished chord, and we'll start in the middle of that 2 chord. We'll anticipate the 5 chord with just that B7 flat 9 diminished scale. We'll start on the upbeat. And notice how well and how easily that takes you right into the next section of the melody. That would be a great place and a great way for you to practice the diminished scale and start getting it into, just the melody of a tune, the melody of Summertime. And it can be used as an embellishing component as you get comfortable with just playing the scale, because that's just right at the scale. B, C, D, D sharp, F, F sharp, G sharp, A, and then we'll surround A, we'll skip the B, we'll displace it, we'll play A, to the flat 9, that's the C, that's part of the diminished scale, and then back to the B, which is the next note in the melody. It works great going back into that melody like that. It takes you, it takes you through some very interesting notes harmonically, and then back right into the melody. Now, as you get comfortable playing that diminished scale there, you can work with some rhythms and different ways of timing it, and even some different diminished scale patterns, if you know some, that kind of work similarly in that spot. So I put together one other one for you, and I'm really just taking the same notes, the same scale, the same notes, and adjusting the timing. So rather than starting on the and of 3 in the half diminished chord, we'll start on the and of 4, and we'll play some triplets. Okay, so I'm going to start in the same spot. Man, isn't that cool? So I tell you what I think I'll do is I'm going to put on the track that goes with our quick tunes lesson. So we've got a quick tunes lesson on Summertime. You might want to work this with. It's in the same key. So I'm going to put on the track, and I'm just going to play 2 passes through the melody both times, and I'll use both of these licks, both of these diminished scale lines in the context of the chord progression or the play along track. And of course, you've got the quick tunes lesson. You can go to the quick tunes lesson. You've also got the lesson called The Stylings of Stanley Turrentine's Summertime, and that's in the sound and style category. So this will really complement both of those lessons, or be an addition that you can add to both of those lessons, or just something you can practice independently. And like I was telling you, Dan, my student, he was learning Summertime in all 12 keys using a combination of the minor pentatonic, the blues scale, and just the way that works with Summertime. And so he was working on the melody and playing the diminished scale on these chords. So I thought that was really pretty good exercise. And I do take you through learning the melody to Summertime by ear in the quick tunes lesson. So that would be something that you could take through all 12 keys if you chose to. Great practice.